Hello everyone, this is JTW with JTW's Reactions, back with another video. Today we're going to talk about mandatory paternity testing. So, it seems like Tennessee is trying to, or about to pass a bill making mandatory paternity testing a law and maternity fraud a crime. And guess what? Women are mad. Let's hear what this gentleman has to say about it.
All right, so those of you who are in Tennessee, guess what? House Bill 2689 is getting ready to pass. That is requiring paternity tests before you sign the birth certificate. Because, you know, when people do paternity tests, 1/3 of the time, they end up not being the father. And if they start testing everybody, that number can only go up, not down. It's going to be dramatic. And right now they're starting to also add in things like, you know, maternity fraud is a crime and a punishable crime. So guys used to go to jail for not paying child support on a child that wasn't theirs because the state wants to get their money, because if there is no father to pay for the child support, somebody has to pay for it, so they push it onto the nearest person that could be a father figure.
And that is so true. I know several guys who had to pay child support for a child that wasn't theirs, and the courts didn't care. It was all on a strength because she said he was the father. Even after the DNA test proved they weren't the fathers, it didn't mean a damn thing because it's all in the best interests of the child. And being that the women lied, they didn't have to deal with any consequences. But if the man didn't pay, then he's threatened with jail time, can lose his job, and while sitting in jail, the child support keeps accruing.
5 to 30% of the general population, men are raising and paying for children that are not theirs and don't know. According to the American Association of Blood Banks, between 25 and 30% of the males who are accused of being the father, they take a paternity test and find out they did not do it.
Are you for mandatory DNA testing at birth?
I am absolutely on record as saying that if we want to prevent the problem of having men challenge paternity later down the road, is then let's apply a proactive solution. Automatic DNA testing at birth would work to help two things. One, we would assure that the right parents were named on the birth certificate. Two, it would stop paternity fraud and take the profit out of paternity fraud.
But so many women's groups say this wouldn't be fair. You're acting like you don't trust the mother. Why do you think they say that?
It's a red herring. It takes away from the focus of, well, who's the one person who has all of the information about potential fathers or the paternity candidates? It is the child's mother. And currently, in most places, she has no duty to disclose that, well, wait a minute. Well, my husband's not really my child's father. My boyfriend is. Like, well, wait, lady. But you're married. You forgot that you were married? No.
There's been women who've been tested, 30 men, and they still have not found the father.
But this is what we talk about accountability, right? Because the modern woman would prefer to lie than take accountability. So with the Amber Heard Johnny Depp case, she preferred to lie than to be seen. Because I've always said that women have a perception, right, that they want to keep up. They want to be seen a certain way.
Showing the square image.
And so what it is that for women, image is everything. Right, and so with Amber Heard, she didn't want her image to be destroyed. With the women that go on the Maury show, and I'm telling you, they go crazy. He should have been doing this before the DNA test comes out. By the way, they're going crazy because what? They're trying to keep an image, right? The problem is the reason why MTR was talking about DNA test should be mandatory. The reason why they won't do it is because women's image would be destroyed. Women want an image in this society, and their image is going to be destroyed. So what they would prefer to do is lie, because there are many people, most people, believe that women are quite innocent, believe that they're the ones that are always a victim, right? What will happen is their image will be destroyed and they'll be seen for who they are, and they don't want it.
Maybe. I had two guys call in. They work at DNA testing centers. One guy had to quit. One guy still works there. He told me 40% of the children are not the man's child. 40%. He said 40%.
Somebody call
and
Maury.
it's
Make
usually
DNA testing
it's
mandatory.
It's two scenarios. It's where the woman, the person's getting a DNA test because the woman claims that is their child. Turns out it's not. The other one is where the parent is on the deathbed and makes a confession, or they need a liver transplant, blood transfusion, and the blood type. There's no way that can actually be the father. So then they find out because of medical reasons. You mean that's not my father? Then the father finds out from that way. He said it took such a toll on him that he could no longer do it because he would be sitting on the phone counseling the men and the grown children who these women falsely accuse. We see it on Moore, we see it on paternity court, but yet we say men need to be held accountable.
So when it comes to this subject, the women that are against it have a lot to say, but they ain't really talking about nothing.
Okay, so what is the ammunition to make it mandatory there? Is it not feelings or
Making
whatever
it
that
Okay,
also
so
comes into play?
Okay, so to that, the same way you would feel disappointed or hurt or however you would feel.
I know the man would feel the same way if he found out it wasn't his. Yeah, I know that.
Why just find out what the DNA is, and we won't have to worry about any of it.
Right, like that potential issues of like, because that could create a lot of issues. If you're willing to
why
go through that
wouldn't
type
you
of
wanna
stuff,
know?
then hey, that's up to you. But I mean, if you can avoid
why
that.
wouldn't you want to know right then and there?
Yeah.
I mean,
Because
if it ain't no question,
you can find out.
If it ain't no question, why?
Then
Who cares?
He hesitant to take it. Yeah, I agree with that.
But what I'm saying is, y'all don't
like
ever
that.
have a woman never had to experience the hurt of that child not being hers.
Basically, they are having him pay the child support.
But he's $60,000.
He's 60. He will be paying me until he is dead.
All right. LeBron had something to say about your accusations.
Sheree, you refused to take the paternity test at least 20 times. If you thought I was the father, you could have taken advantage of any of those times. You didn't have to try and ruin my life.
Why did you refuse 20 times?
He is lying, straight up lying. I have the court papers upstairs. I didn't know to bring them here to show that I did have the court date schedule and that he missed it every time. LeBron does not want to take responsibility for his child.
You are absolutely sure, without a shadow of a doubt, that this man is the father.
Well, the world could end, so I can't say that, but I am saying that I do believe that.
Did you sleep with anyone? I'll ask you the same thing I asked Sherry. Did you sleep with anyone else at about the time you conceived the child?
No.
This is the only guy you slept with?
Yes.
Okay,
Besides
come on.
my fiance, yes.
Wait a minute. Besides my fiance. Now, your fiance has been tested, and he is not the father of the child.
No, he is not.
So,
You see, you already know that she's lying when she was asked the question and she said, well, you know the world can end, but then she started stumbling. So we know she's fucking other motherfuckers.
the only two men you slept with were these two?
That's right.
And the other guy absolutely can't be the father, so it has to be this guy.
It has to be.
Come on out, LeBron.
First off, I want to say she's lying. Sheree's lying. I got proof right here. Like she said, from her own words, that I went on and I asked for a paternity test. From the day when the first kid...
Why are you lying? LeBron, I had 3 court dates and you never showed up to a court date.
I got proof.
You never showed up to one damn court date.
You know why I didn't show up? I lived in L.A. I lived in L.A.
BS, LeBron,
can you let me
stop lying.
talk?
No, I'm not letting
you know
you
why?
talk
Because you know it's the truth. Because you know it's the truth.
You're lying, LeBron.
You see, when a woman starts screaming and shouting like that, and she don't want to let you talk, because she knows what you're going to say is going to make some sense. And being that she's on TV, she don't want to look stupid, so,
Let me tell you what happened. I was living in L.A. with my son.
You're lying. You were living with your mother. When I was
living in
staying
L.A.
there and your
and
mother
she
was
sent
dying of
stuff
cancer, I
to another-
stayed there, helped you with your mother, helped you with your twin brother and your baby sister.
You going to hell for all that line.
No, you go to hell.
Goodness.
You go to hell. We don't prove it tonight.
all right. So we're going to go ahead and cut to the chase and find out what's really going on here.
Sally, LeBron is not the biological father.
I know he's the father of my son, and I just want him to step up to the plate and do what it is he's supposed to do as a man.
Yeah, run your lying ass off the stage. Guys, you gotta be careful who you lay with. Man, these modern women today, not all of them, but a lot of them today, their mental is somewhere way the hell out of here. They thinking on a whole different level. And, you just got to be careful. These women, they will put a baby on you, knowing that they slept with other men around the same time they slept with you. But they'll figure, hey, you're the best one out of the bunch, so let me say that he's the father. Be careful, guys. Stop just busting nuts in these women. I know it feels good and it's warm inside. Oh my gosh, yes, it feels good. But, you gotta think. Don't use the head down there. Use the head on your shoulders. Think about the possible consequences if you get this woman pregnant. Is this someone that you want to spend the rest of your life with or attached to? Think about that first.
I think that testing needs to be mandatory. It's not the way.
Wow.
It needs to be mandatory because
But if you're not slinging your dick around, then you won't be scared about who's pregnant.
It's not about us.
You may have a partner right before me.
Exactly.
I think that the United States making DNA testing mandatory is stupid. I don't think that, it's something that if you feel like you need a DNA test, go do that on your own time because you feel that way. I don't think every person, there's millions of people in the United States. Like, it doesn't make sense that people could be using that time to do other things. Like, you could be saving a life.
Yeah, stupid. So, you're saying that they could be doing something else? Well, if it's made mandatory, they would be doing their job. Okay? That would be their job. So why would they do something else other than their job? You sound stupid.
I personally pay taxes, and I care about where my money goes.
Now, y'all know this chick don't give a damn about taxes. Look at her. All she doing is sitting up here talking shit because, well, let's look at the rest of the video.
I'm not here to pay for so-and-so because there's a confusion about who's the father. That's not my business. Handle your personal shit. And for me, I want to fund schools. I want to fund the MTA because the trains are never on time. We got bigger problems. We have bigger problems. I'm sorry. I'm not paying for no mandatory test.
All right, come on now. This chick does not look like she has a faithful bone in her body. I wonder if she have kids. And if she does, how many dudes that she got paying for a child that's not theirs? She's very animated about this. Very determined. She doesn't want to pay for no mandatory DNA testing. All that moving around, please. She got some nervous activity going on over there.
I don't think there's any issue with a man taking care of another man's child. Women do it all the time, whether you know or not. He might bring another child and say, oh, I had this out of our wedlock, what are we going to do? Or he's taking your money and paying child support to another family. You had no idea. So when we're just like jumping like, oh, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that.
So really, that's her argument? A man could be paying child support for another kid that she doesn't know? But is that woman taking care of another man's child? I mean, come on now, it's different. We are talking about men who are paying for children that were told, or they have the assumption that these kids are theirs based on them believing that they are in a monogamous relationship and that their spouse or their girlfriend is not screwing around with other guys. That's a big difference than what the crap that she's talking about here. Come on, woman. But that's these young modern women. They do all this talking, but not saying anything. Ugh. Alright, people. Thanks for checking out my video. If you really like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. And stay tuned for the next video.